Okay guys, quick note before the video starts. I realized after I recorded the entire thing that my air conditioner is running because it's like super hot and stuffy in my room, and I listened to it afterwards and I heard the annoying like sound. So you're gonna be a little annoyed. Also, I'm sorry I have a stuffy nose because of all the pollen here. Tis the season, so yeah, enjoy the video. Why not? I'm gonna do a walkthrough of Echolands because that's my most popular song. So this is the Echolands project file in Logic Pro. That's my DAW. It's a decent sized project, I'd say. I mean, there's not too many instruments. I mean, my newer projects probably have a bit more. But keep in mind, this song is 8 months old. It's almost 9 months now, probably, maybe 10. I don't know. It's an old song, but it blew up because of Geometry Dash. So here I am doing a video explaining how I made it. Okay, so this video is not going to be structured at all. I'll kind of just go through what I did. So I'll just start with the intro, I guess. This intro part is mainly just the piano, and then it kind of has this little build up, and then it goes into this little pre-drop thing, and then the build up and then drop. You'll be able to tell where everything is. It's a short song too. It's only like 3 minutes and 20 something seconds. So yeah, this is the piano I used. It's just the same melody you hear throughout the entire song. Really simple. There's no velocity changes or anything, which I probably would have done if I was making this track now. You know, nice little piano. It's got some reverb on it. Little EQing. See, I probably wouldn't do that now. So yeah, that's just a piano with reverb, and this is like the chords, I guess. They aren't full chords, it's just like 2 notes. So if I was making this song now, I'd probably move that down there so I get a C major, but it's up here, so I'm not going to change it. So yeah, then we got this kind of right here. This little thing kind of plays throughout the duration of the track. It's just a little square lead thing. It's just one of Logic's presets. I used to use these more often than I do now, but you know, you could barely hear it at some points, and then it gets louder, and sometimes it plays throughout the drop, just like a little doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, okay, so, and then we just, this thing, which is just it's just a little like crashy sound. There's nothing to that really. Right here we got the drums start to fade in. They just kind of they have some filtering on it. I used to do a lot of automation, and Logic has this thing where sometimes it copies. I would copy and paste automation a lot, and Logic, like, it just makes so many different, as you can see from like right here, so many random things. I never did those. It just adds those. It's kind of weird, but whatever, just ignore it. So just a high pass and low pass kind of sweeping in there. So you get this nice transition with the drums. And I didn't really know how to sidechain when I first made this song. I would use a compressor, but it wouldn't do much. So what I did was I came back in and I did a little bit of this like kind of ducking whenever a drum would hit. I don't do this anymore. I use a compressor. I know how to compress properly when sidechaining, but you know, that was something I do. I also did that with the bass because, you know, I didn't know how to sidechain properly. This was about like a month or 2 ago when I remastered this track, so it does sound a tiny bit different, but you probably won't notice. So yeah, at this part we've got these little chord things playing again. They're not really chords, like I said, but it's just like 2 notes. But we've got a choir, a little super saw. They kind of fade in nicely. Little beeping sound that I already played. The piano goes again, and I forgot to mention this little harp thingy. Just kind of doing its own little thing. It's a little random, but it adds to the niceness. And then there's this kind of gritty little bass sound. It's not a very clean bass. It's kind of grimy. That's why I liked it. It kind of like makes the whole thing sound a little more deep, and it makes it sound darker in the build up. This is the only part where it plays. It doesn't play anywhere else in the song. You know, that kind of rah 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 rah. And lastly, we've got the lead, wherever the heck that is, up here. It's all the way up here. Okay, playing the same thing. This lead is just a serum patch. I watched a tutorial on how to make a melodic lead, and then I kind of changed it a bit to my own liking. It's got some vibrato. It's just like a weird saw wave thing, and then a square, little bit of detuning, and then a bunch of like distortion and hyperdimension, and then some multiband compression to even it all out. It's a little bit of a loud lead, so at times throughout the track I didn't know how to compress properly. I didn't know what it did, so I would kind of lower the volume, like right there. You kind of see where like the thing would get really high, because like I didn't know how to limit and compress, so I would just use volume. I would just manually change it. But yeah, so that's just the lead. And moving on to this little intro drop thing. It's not really the drop, but whatever, I'll just call it the intro drop. We've got the sub bass, which actually was added in the remaster version that I did a couple months ago, and it wasn't here originally, to get that, you know, that deeper sound, because in the original one there was no sub, or there was, but it was just a sine wave. It was a bad sub. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad I didn't keep it there, because I'd look stupid. I mean, I probably look stupid now, but yeah, okay. So the sidechain sounds better than it did in the original one. I forgot to mention, actually, over here I've got this this percussion thing with a high pass, and then it comes into full play here. And then I've also got a riser thing, which is like, it was originally 128 beats per minute, but I changed it to 140. I just had that come in. I did too much automation. I don't use this riser anymore, but I used to use it all the time. So yeah, we just got the sub down here. I already played that. We got the drums, this thingy, and then I already played these two things. And then there's this thingy which comes in. And I've also got this new bass. It kind of adds to the deepness, just like this other thing I played. It of course I cut out the lows, so it's not really a bass. It's just like a lower mid frequency type of bass that just kind of makes the track more full. It's like a do 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 do. You know, just a classic analog bass. And then we've got the lead doing its own thing. So yeah, and then it goes an octave higher, and then we've got this little beepy sound in the background. So yeah, that's pretty much all for that part. Then it goes into the build up, where it just does this like where the kick just kind of boom boom, and then we have the snare kind of come in a little bit, you know, a little bit of filtering done. It looks like I did a lot, but I mean, it's just because Logic's glitchiness. Got this little riser that I don't think I made. I think it's Logic's. Yeah, it's one of Logic's. Just this little like weird vocally uprising thing. So yeah, that's just to build our upper thing, and then we build our upper. I don't know what that is, but whatever. That thing, which is a little bit too loud. The harp kind of plays like for the first half of this build up. See, what I meant was, in the beginning when I said there weren't many instruments, is I'm not going to be explaining a lot of it near the end of the video, because a lot of them were already used and they're doing the same thing. So yeah, these are doing the same things as before, just like there's some filtering on it. This lead does have a little change up. So yeah, that kind of you know, it just changes a little bit. Oh, I just burped, excuse me. But yeah, that changes just a tiny bit, and I thought it was cool when I did that, because usually I was too lazy to change that type of thing. Now we come to the drop. It kind of goes silent. We'll wait it, and that little part right there, that weird fade in, is done by a low pass. Yeah, it's just kind of rolling the lows away from it, and then it comes in just Oh, wait, nope, that's a layer to the lead. I didn't get to that yet. It's right here. It's just kind of, you know. Anyways, this layer, it doesn't play anywhere else in the song. This is a new thing to the drop. It's kind of just a nice little background to the lead. It adds more substance. You know, you'll hear it. So yeah, that's a thing. And then we got this weird, like, you don't really hear this. I honestly have no idea what I was doing when I did this, but I mean, it sounds good. You can kind of hear it in the final mix, like if you listen. Barely hear it. Not that much, though. And then there's this one more layer to the lead. I did a lot of layering on this song. I think this is one of the first songs that I mixed with my new headphones, which I still use now. So yeah, here's this weird... You can, like, barely hear it, but, you know, it's there. And then I think crap. There's still no chords. There's no chords anywhere in this song. It only plays, yeah, you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. If you know music theory, you'd know that this is supposed to be a C chord. It should go like that. That would sound so much better if I had that, but I don't. But, you know, it's not. It doesn't have that extra harmonic, so it's just ball. It doesn't really matter. Most people wouldn't notice. I'll probably go back and fix that, maybe re-upload it, the file on SoundCloud, but whatever. And then we have all these weird dubstep bassy things, which are all just like kind of virtual Riot presets, because I didn't know how to make sound design. I had just gotten Serum. So we have this, like, you know, the sub's not separated, which is something I would have done normally, but I didn't make this. It's just a virtual Riot preset. All of these are. I'm just going to, like, solo them and then just kind of go through them quickly. I didn't want this video to be long, but it looks like it's probably going to be. Then we have this, like, thing. I don't even remember what it is. Oh, actually, no. I actually made this myself. This is something I did make. That's, like, a very mediocre sound. Obviously, I didn't make that. I didn't make that. I did make that, actually. Let's just play Guess the Sounds Zyzyx Made. Let's see if I made this one. Think I made that one? No? Good guess, because I didn't. And then we got... And then... Yeah, it's the same things over and over again. Maybe... Is this one different? Yeah, it's a little different, but I didn't make that one. So the only ones I made were the really crappy ones. Then we got this weird little, like, ARPy thing. I made that sound. I was kind of proud of it. It's a little weird. It's just like a... It's probably just a sine and a saw wave. Nope, it's just a... It's just a square wave. Then we got this thingy that I don't remember what it sounds like. Oh yeah, it's the weird growly thingy that I made myself. Yeah, I made it myself. You could probably barely hear that, but it sounds cool. And then we got this thing. That's supposed to be one of those lower bass things that you don't, that like just add to the fullness, but it's not loud enough. I'd probably change that if I were to remake the song. Then there's this choir thing. Oh, oh, oh. And then the super saw. You know, that was a little unneeded, but, you know, I just have it in there. A lot of these instruments could be better, but, you know. This thing, which I already showed you, it kind of plays randomly throughout the song. You can barely hear it when it, like, right here, but, yeah. Then we got this thing. It kind of, what it does is in the beginning it goes, and then for the last half the bar it cuts off, and then on the fourth bar it plays the full thing, and then in the second half of the drop it just plays the whole way through. This kind of makes it, the second drop feels like it's like kind of progressed from the first drop. And in this part right here I also changed the melody. I added this little like wait, that was weird sounding. That sounds better. Yeah, and it kind of makes the second part of the drop feel like it's different, and it's not just a copy of the first, but again, it pretty much is, except for that. Then it goes into this weird, like, it's just like that intro drop part right over here, but it's like, I'm pretty sure I like kind of side chained. I had like a kickstart plugin yeah, so what I did was I added a kickstart plugin to like a lot of the things, so it just kind of has a little bouncy wow 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 wow. That's normally something you'd have in house, but it's kind of like a half bar. I don't know what to call it. It's just like you can hear that pumping sound, so it just kind of has that weird like. So when that's on everything, it creates a nice pumpy vibe. You get my vibe. I thought that sounded really cool when I made that. I'm pretty proud of that. So yeah, it's the same instruments as before, playing the same exact chords, same exact melody, very repetitive. And then Whoa. So yeah, it's the same thing, same build up, except we have this little thing. Sounds kind of crappy. You can't really hear it in the actual thing. Yep, wop, wop, wop. Yeah, and it just kind of goes in, and then it's the same thing as the first drop, except in this one, instead of starting with having the percussion only playing like every half bar, it does the thing, just plays the whole way through. So yeah, same as the first drop, and then but the second part of this one, instead of just going boop, it goes boop boop. Like, ready, listen, boop boop. And what I did with that is it's literally just, you know, it's like what you think it is. It's it just has the little first two like chords, or like I said, they're not chords, but I'll just call them chords. The first two chord thingies go boop boop, you know, like that. So it makes it cool, like. Okay, so yeah, and then it's just the exit, which is the same as the intro. So yeah, as you can see, this whole song is like really similar, just like subtle changes throughout the whole thing, which is good because you want people to have a nice experience that's somewhat repetitive, but not the same thing. And the original version of this song, I didn't master correctly. So what I did was, like a couple months ago, like I said, I came and remastered it. I mastered it somewhat correctly. I just used a compressor that's like kind of boosting it a lot, which I don't think is what you're supposed to do. I master a little bit differently now. I use a multi-band compressor and stuff, but this is my really mediocre mastering. The song was really loud. Like what I used to do before I knew how to master was I just crank up the thing, and it would just limit it for me with some weird magic, I don't know, and it wouldn't clip somehow. But so yeah, when I came back to remaster, I had to turn it down to like -6 decibels, and then so I could actually give it some correct gain-amundo. So here we have a compressor with a ton of threshold, so that's probably bad. The ratio's fine. No makeup. Auto gain is off. You want to give it like quite a bit of release. It's like not that much attack, and I gave it a ton of gain, like 10 decibels. That's a lot. So it's makes it pretty loud. You got this. If you want me to turn off the limiter, you're gonna hear it go a lot quieter. So yeah, that compressor just kind of evens everything out, I guess. So yeah, there you've got the compressor, and then you've got the limiter, which is literally just, it's got the output ceiling at 0. I probably put that at like 1 or 2, -1 or 2, so it wouldn't, you know, peak by accident, but it's keeping it pretty loud. The track's mastered at a very loud level. The gain is at 7.3. I should probably turn that down a bit. It sounds like it's distorting just a tiny bit. It's not to the point of being annoying, but you know. So So yeah, that is what really makes the track loud without peaking. Yeah, and then this EQ I forgot to mention, there's just a little bit of boosted highs and this part right here, which I don't know what that is. It might have been the snare, or I think this right here is a snare. Yeah, that's just making the snare quieter. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. I didn't want to keep any of my production tips a secret or any of my projects, so I just, yeah, decided to do this. Probably hear my AC isn't on anymore. It probably sounds so much better. Too bad I didn't have that while I was actually recording the video. But yeah, thank you for listening. See ya.